We're back. It's another week of Chiropractic is Sexy. We were gone for a couple of weeks. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin.
I'm Dr. Erica. Oh, there you are. I'm like, I lost you on the window here. We were just gone for 1 week, not a couple.
What's that?
We were just gone for 1 week.
That's all.
But you had your awards thing last week, and so you have to go and accept awards for your community. So
yes,
there's
so
some
lovely.
things we have to skip for.
Yeah, it was great. We got a $20,000 grant from Oakland County, which is amazing. We were not expecting that. So while we did not bring home any awards that we had applied for, hey, $20,000 that you didn't expect, that's pretty darn good too. So that'll be a nice little infusion into our economic development here. So so we had that. And then Dr. Erica and I went on a girls' weekend. So it was full. It was so full. And it was lovely. It was so lovely. We had an absolute blast. We took the foot off the gas, which most of the time we are just going so hard. And we know when to let the foot off the gas. And so, that's what we'll tell you all, is that making sure you're committing, making sure you're constantly pouring into yourself and your health and doing all the things, knowing though when it's time to rest. That's a big part of healing. It's a big part of your health, is making sure you're resting when it's appropriate.
Well, and we were talking about how symptoms are not random. That's one of the things that we're sort of discussing today. And when we don't take the time, I always tell the patients, I'm like, there's no such thing as balance, but we have to counterbalance. Life just won't ever be balanced. The balance is so fleeting, but the counterbalance of it all. And it's like, if we don't take the time to counterbalance, our body will take us down, so that that's all that we can do. They say the people have many wishes until they don't have their health. And then there's only one wish. And so if we can work to counterbalance, our body doesn't have to take us all the way down, which we definitely did. The great thing about traveling with chiropractors is that we're still traveling, but we're health conscious about it. And so we're eating well, and we're moving our bodies, and we're getting out, and we're getting in the sunshine, and we're doing the eat well, move well, think well, drink your water, get your rest, and get adjusted. And so we did all the things that keep us well all together, which I love that.
And this girl actually cold plunged.
She did. So Dr. Paula and I have been really close friends. I don't know, has it been 3.5 or 4.5?
Something like
3.5 or 4.5. I can't remember years. But anyway, she is our from the desert culture, or heritage, I should say, ancestry. And the cold plunge for her I'll answer it for her, is a no. It's the biggest NO that you could possibly see. And so, so a polar bear plunge, not quite, but all the way in, swimming around, and I would be
floated.
curious.
I was in it. And Dr. Erica and I were trying to determine the temperature of the water. And we were both very wrong, by the way, because I looked up the water temperature in that specific area, and it was 58 degrees. So it was cold. It was really cold.
Really cold. Yeah.
But it was refreshing because it was hot outside and the sun was shining, and it just felt like that. So that's the moment when my body was like, I need this. I want this. And I think just because somebody is there's a cold plunge craze, don't do it because everybody else is doing it if it doesn't feel right for you. But in that moment, it felt right for me. And so I think that's a big lesson for so many people, is that people are doing things and they're not enjoying it and they're not appreciating it because everybody else is doing it. So I should be doing it too. So it was really lovely.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And the aging is the constant and continuous pursuit of comfort. So just because you don't want to do something doesn't mean don't. But the cold plunge is the cold plunge, I think, is a little bit of an exception, because if you're not into it and you do it, it's not that it'll have like super detrimental effects, but it will not be as beneficial as saying, this feels good. This is what I want to do. Like, it's just a totally different approach. But don't get too comfortable out there, because that is truly where we start aging. It is. It's like
Exactly.
we have to do something every day to take us outside of our comfort zone. So,
And I love heat and sauna, which is also very beneficial for the human body. So again, doing something that's uncomfortable, it doesn't have to be, again, the one specific thing that everybody's on the bandwagon for. So I think that's the whole thing, is, are you avoiding all of the things that make you uncomfortable? Does a walk make you uncomfortable? And if a walk makes you uncomfortable, you should go walk.
Yeah.
I would just say that.
Go walk
But
more,
I think like as we get into today's episode, it's these are therapies that we're actually taught, which aren't really therapies. They're part of our lifestyle for me and Dr. Erica. And what, we've had this conversation before about symptoms being signals and what is your body telling you. And I just don't think that we can have this conversation enough, because too many people are ignoring the signals. And so this might be a repeat from a couple of weeks ago, but we're going to take a little bit of a different angle and dive a little bit deeper into what are these small little things that you just may not be paying attention to, or you're just sloughing them off and you're not realizing your body is screaming for help. And ultimately, we have been trained as a society to only do something for ourselves and our health when we have a symptom, like an intervention when we have a symptom, versus okay, we should just go to the chiropractor and get adjusted because our nervous systems will thank us for it and we don't have pain.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we should be doing before we actually get pain. Pain is your trigger. Pain is that last end signal for you to go do something about it.
So Silly Lily says, please do not dive into glacial fed lakes. Okay, so I have a little story about this, and I totally agree, because I jumped off. So it was June, years ago, maybe like 9 or 10 years ago. I jumped off a boat in Lake Michigan, but I jumped off like from the boat and dove into the water. And I do this regularly, but usually in the Great Lakes, I run off of the beach or like walk into the water. I don't.
Oh, we lost her.
Yep, she froze up.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I jumped off of the boat and I like immediately went, but I was underwater, and I'm like, this is exactly how that happens, because it was super shocking. So thank you for bringing that up.
And I had a similar event in Shasta, and I was hiking with my cousin, not realizing. What's that? We lost your sound. Okay.
Me?
And we had finished a hike, and it was hot and the sun was shining, and people were jumping off of this little cliff into this little pool from a waterfall. It looked amazing. And so I jumped, and it was about 10 feet. And I jumped in. The water was so cold. I had no idea how cold the water was. It was not glacial, but snow fed. And it was so cold that I came up and I went like the biggest gasp. I almost couldn't breathe. It was so cold and took me back so much. My cousin said to me when I came up, she said, "You scared the hell out of me." She said, "Your face when you came up out of the water and took a breath, I thought I was going to have to jump in and save you." And I was like, yeah, that was crazy. And I don't ever need to do that again. So test the water at least. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
some of these signals, again, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just getting back to, we were talking about symptoms and that they're not random and that our body's speaking to us, right? So we talk a lot about if our check engine light came on in our car, we wouldn't do very much more before we would go to get it managed. And I know we had mentioned that a little while ago. And also with our body. Same. It's the same
Well,
thing.
and yesterday
like
I had a, wait, do we have a delay?
You must have a delay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a delay. Erica, if you can jump off, jump back on, it should sync back up.
Okay.
Okay. So yesterday I got in my car and I went to the gym. And the first thing I noticed as I got to the first stop sign in my subdivision was that my brake was grinding and it sounded like my right front brake. And I thought, oh my goodness, awesome. Welcome back. And I thought, oh my gosh, my brakes. So yesterday my brakes started grinding and, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to have to get new brakes. So I go to the gym and I went over to the auto shop afterwards and I got a quote of $650 from 2 different shops to redo my front brakes because then they want to redo your rotors as well. So my daughter says, no, I can get my friend to do it because he's a shop guy. I was like, okay. So it was $80 for the brakes. And he came over and they took my car and fixed my brakes. Well, here's the lesson is that my brakes were grinding. I didn't turn up the music so I wouldn't hear them. We don't do that. I immediately went and tried to figure out what the problem was and I got it resolved. But yeah, you don't, we do put the tape over the check engine light. Do you just turn the music up so you don't hear things? Do you just pull a little harder on the wheel when it needs a front end alignment? Because you're like, oh, it's fine. Our bodies are no different. In fact, we pay more attention to our vehicles than we do to our bodies. And we have far more, we allow our bodies to do far more before we do anything about it. And I think that's what we have to shift.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about this patient was just in and she said, and she comes about every 2 to 3 weeks and she's been here for, I don't even know when her first visit was, a long time ago. And she said, yesterday I got a headache and she's like, I just knew I should be in. Let's see, her visit was 2015, so she's been here a long time. She said, I just knew I had to come in today. And I'm like, I actually wish you would have come at the 3-week mark instead of the 4-week mark, because at the 3-week mark is where things really start. I mean, I love every week or every other is a lot better, but no less than 3 weeks, because I'm like, instead of taking what seems to be a harmless dose of ibuprofen is not harmless. And it's like, if she would have just come Monday or she would have just made a plan, could we have avoided that 1 dose of ibuprofen? Now it's not a lethal dose of ibuprofen, but it's jeopardizing the system every single time we do it, really every single time. And it's just the buildup actually take your organs down. So let's just work towards listening to the body and then knowing that let's keep something going so that we eat well, move well, think well, drink your water, get your rest, get adjusted, like keep that going, keep those things going on no matter what, and find a plan that keeps you ahead of it all.
Yeah. And I think it's also understanding what some signals are. One of the things that many people don't know, which I'm quick to point out, is I have so many patients, a lot of them younger, and they have the, I'll just call them chicken bumps, because that's what most people call them, on the backs of their arms. Do you have that? Not you, Dr. Erica, but people listening. Do you have chicken bumps on the back of your arms? That is food allergy. That is food sensitivity. Your body doesn't like something, and it's coming out in skin form. Eczema, psoriasis, all of those skin conditions, your body is trying to detoxify something that it does not like. That is a massive signal. But what do we do? Even like acne on the face, what do? We put something on our skin or we ignore it. And it's not coming from the skin. It's not coming from the outside. It's coming from the inside. It is also coming from a disrupted gut. It's Teomimo says a sign of parasites, which it could be. It's not always, but there is so much involved when we start to see things on the outside of the body, rashes, hives. Erica, I'm sure you also see people, they come in and they have this redness on their neck, which is different from rosacea on the cheeks, but they think it's just normal. That's just how I am. It's not how you are. Your body is struggling. It's a signal. But I don't think enough people talk about this, so they don't see it as a problem. But if they have rosacea and they're like, I'm tired of this rosacea, then they go and the doctor gives them a topical treatment. It's not coming from the outer surface. It's coming from the inside trying to express its way out.
Right. And I mean, our skin in particular is such a loudspeaker of what's going on. Also, our hair too, and our nails, like those kinds of sort of, you know, I just want to call it like accessory, not that it's accessory stuff, but when we think about hair, skin, and nails, it can be a real loudspeaker of what is going on the inside. And so especially the skin in particular is a loud speaker for the digestive system. And when things are not moving through the digestive system very well, then they'll be expressed out through the skin. And it's like, you know, I have a lot of infants in my practice, and it's like once they have like the skin, like the baby acne is sort of will come in a wave as the body's trying to figure out how to deal with the world, but then it goes away. And if it doesn't go away, it's just kind of like a part of the rhythm. If it doesn't go away and gets worse and worse, then it's like, this is just your body is trying to excrete things out, and it's coming through the skin, and it's yet another response to our life and lifestyle, and all the things, right? So it's always everything. The body keeps scoring, it always wins, always. So,
and this is a good comment. Lily says they say that the skin is a good indicator of your health status, and we can see that. One of the things that we evaluate, probably unbeknownst to the patient, I think it's not we don't particularly ask questions about it, but we notice what someone's skin looks like. So we will notice dark circles under the eyes. We will notice wrinkling in certain parts of the face, or saggy skin, or does the skin look bright and resilient, or does it look sunken and drawn out? Are you pale or yellow? So we are looking at your skin as an indicator of, are there some hidden metabolic things that are here as well? And you live with that face every day. So you may not notice that you have, I've always had bags under my eyes. Didn't realize it was a problem. Where I see this a lot is in kids, and parents will bring their kids in, and I'm like, that in my head, I don't say this to the parent because I don't want to alarm parents, but if I see kids with dark circles under their eyes, which is so common. If I'm in a store and I see a kid and they have dark sunken circles under their eyes, that's not normal. That is a sick child who needs to get under care in some capacity. Chiropractic, there needs to be nutritional intervention. That kid, I guarantee you, is chronically sick, potentially on an inhaler. Like, this is a sick child, and this is a common occurrence. So we look at the face, at the skin, how bright is it, or how deep and dark is it?
So
the eyes too.
So just so you know, if you are out anywhere and the two of us are out, we are judging you. We are evaluating your health by how you're walking, how you're moving, what your skin is doing, what your hair is doing, what your wrinkles are doing. Like, actually, we're not judging you, but there is a lot to be observed. And one of the major things that I notice in my chiropractic office from adjusting is light in the eyes return. Mm-hmm. And it's so subtle, but when you do this work for as long as we've been doing it, the light in the eyes, you know, when you're looking at your child and they're dealing with something in their immune system, that their eyes are heavy, their whites aren't bright, their irises are dull, their pupils are hidden. But when people start getting adjusted and start taking care of their nervous system and getting that vagal tone back on board, getting into parasympathetics, heal, rest, digest, all of that, Our eyes are a direct extension of our brain, and our brain is the nervous system that we're working with, that we talk about week in and week out. So I say, and I say this a lot actually, like, I see the light returning to your eyes. Do you feel that? And they always say yes, because it's just it's yet another loudspeaker. It's like taking your music and plugging it into the speaker, and you've got a great song or not, it's going to be magnified. And so that's what happens with certain parts of our body. So one of my cousins had a baby shower a couple weeks ago, and they're all tall, my height or taller, and blonde. And one of them turned to me and she's like, "Is that all your hair? That's all yours?" And I said, "Yeah, I do not do extensions." And they're like, "How at your age is your blonde hair the as healthy as it is?" Well, I don't overprocess, for one, but also in my late fourth decade of life, for my hair to be as healthy as it is. And for Dr. Paula, same thing. Her hair is healthy, healthy, healthy. And she's in, it has as almost 10 years. Well, you
29.
have years on me. Yeah.
I'm
But she's
doing the
29.
sixth decade. What?
I know. And it's like, it's just a direct reflection of the health being tended to on a daily, slow basis. Like, it's just constant and continuous.
Well, and one of the biggest things that you can do besides chiropractic in order to help improve your health and well-being is make sure you hit the thumbs up button and like and subscribe. That is number one. That is number one key to longevity.
Yes. So there's one thing I posted on my Instagram stories recently from Dr. Ryan Lowry, who I freaking love, but nobody accidentally becomes healthy. Health is usually built through 1,000 small choices that nobody sees. And the one other thing is, be boring. Walk every day, eat healthy, limit alcohol, lift weights, go outside, prioritize sleep, love your family. No hacks, no gimmicks, no excuses. Boring habits quietly transform lives. There's no silver bullet anywhere, you guys. Nowhere.
Yeah. Thank you, Idaho Garden Girl. It's so great to see you. It's been a minute. Thank you for being here, and thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. You will be healthier today for it. So yes. I love that. It's so great. Yeah, you don't accidentally become healthy. We are, when we went on our girls' trip, I mean, I brought all the food. Some people brought food too, but I'm a overbringer of food because I always want to make sure that we have good quality food with us. And we snacked all weekend on all the goodness that we all brought. And that, that's really important, is making those conscious decisions. I'm going to get in the car. In fact, you guys, it took me over an hour to get all the food together and packed up in the cooler. It took me 15 minutes to pack my clothes. So this is how I roll. I gotta make sure I have enough of the. Yes, it's all the hummus I made. I made hummus, Lily. It was divine. It was divine.
Healthier with every thumbs up.
Exactly. There you go. And Kaizen. This is one of my favorite saying. So Kaizen is the constant and continuous improvement in your life. So one step, constant and continuous forward movement. And it's really a beautiful, it's just the word alone. To me, all I have to do is think Kaizen, and it just will help keep you on that track.
Love it.
Yeah. I did have a patient who, came to me for nutrition and has been sick, not by medical standards, but she doesn't feel well. She's turning 60, doesn't feel well. Her health is not, she's doesn't sleep well. She has no libido. Her hormones are messed up. So she's been to, medical, like through the mill, and they can't find anything wrong. Shocker. And so she comes to me and I do my evaluation. I send her the write-up and she replies with, "Wow, that's a lot." And I said, "I know. It's a lot because it's different. It's not what you've been doing that's kept you in this sort of subclinical sickness. And that subclinical sort of purgatory of health is like, you're not getting out of that unless you do something dramatically different to move the needle forward. And you cannot expect to get healthy with the same habits that made you sick. And now she doesn't necessarily think she's sick because she's not sick according to medicine. So I now have to try to talk to her about what this actually means for her. Why would she spend time and money doing what I've just asked her to do when I know it's going to move her out of this like subclinical sickness purgatory that I can change her life. I know that for an absolute fact, but it requires some commitment, and you just have to start. You got to start somewhere. So do it, get adjusted. Yes. Yeah. Tio wants to say, who has the VW bus? That's Dr. Erica.
I've got two, and you know, as I think about which part of our 6 things that we talk about all the time does the Volkswagen bus fit into, and it's positive mental attitude. It is literally like driving around sunshine and happiness. It's very challenging. It's very present time consciousness driving. Like it's all of that. But yeah, it's like sunshine on the road. So that actually adds to my health. So
we had so much fun. It was a lot of fun. Tio, you must be following us on Instagram or something. Because we haven't really posted. I don't think we've posted anything on YouTube, but yeah. But yeah, it was fun. And I think too, you know, we've talked about this many, many times, is joy and happiness and connection and friendships. And that is everything we experienced this weekend. And 2 of the people who were with us on this weekend, I had never met in person, you guys. But that is how connection works, is that when you're with the right people and you're intentional about your time and who you spend it with and how you want to spend it, you just attract the right people. And we felt like we've all known each other forever. It really, truly was a blessing of a weekend. So even if we ate like complete shit, which we wouldn't have done, we still had joy, connection, happiness, ease. It was just fueled by all of the things that we always talk about.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really great. I was thinking about, so I just started a new patient this morning, and she's been a therapist for a really long time, and she is sitting long hours. So there's that. So musculoskeletally, she has patterns in her system and in her spine and in her body that's integrated, and over repeat time. What have we got here? Doctors keep telling me I'm ultra healthy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry,
so anyway, when she got off the table after, first she was nervous about getting adjusted, even though she's known about my work for years and years and years. She got off the table and she's like, I was talking to her about the vagal tone and of the body and all the things and how it helps so much. And she's like, I feel after her first day, I feel like I am like clearer seeing. And so anyway, it's just, we see and hear these things all day long and just kind of take them for granted because the body is self-healing, self-regulating, just self-healing organism. We just have to allow it to do what it needs to do. I also talk about the adjustment as the Control Alt Delete of the body, and that if we can reset that regularly, we start to be able to move through and process a lot of the stored tension in our tissues. So yeah, it helps it all.
Yeah. So everything that is going on in your body, again, just things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago when we had this similar conversation, is pay attention to it. Redness on your face is not normal. Rashing on your neck, even though that's how it's been all the time. Ask yourself, oh, I've always been like that. I have a patient who comes in and he has Raynaud's and he's a cyclist. He's a high level athlete. He's 60 something, very intense about his training. And I he always takes his shirt off because I want to see his skin. And I will ask him, I'm like, you're inflamed. So he's very fit, but I look at his skin because he will have this sort of like blotchy redness. And then he's like, oh, I put lotion on today, or I didn't put lotion on today. It's the lotion. I'm like, it's not the lotion. I'm looking at what is coming outside from the inside. I know you have autoimmune inflammation, and he eats super healthy, but like, we can eat super healthy. And as much as I love hummus, I've had patients who are allergic to chickpeas and sesame. So the healthy things also can affect us. And that's where we have to, people are like, I have a clean diet. How could I be allergic to something? Well, it still could be something in your clean diet, and it's gut, and we have to repair the gut. So there's a lot of different things that we have to pay attention to and stop making excuses about why they're there, because then we just keep going further upstream. Why is it here? Okay, then why is that here? And just keep asking the why question to get you to the root cause question.
Patients come in and they say, oh, I just have a normal headache.
Right?
Saying like, I have, just like my sciatic pain that I've had for years now. It's also, I take a couple ibuprofen every day, or every time I head out to do this or that before every workout. There's so many different things, and we're always asking what is the body trying to tell us. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I was thinking about too is, as we were leading up to that weekend, of course we wanted to nourish ourselves well, but we handled the weekend so well. Like, a lot of people, even when they travel, like, they come back with the sniffles, or they come back and they're, just can't go on with their days, or they need a vacation from their vacation. And it's so nice to be with people that are so respectful of what they're doing with their body, what they're putting in their body. The fact that we're moving every day, even though we're on vacation, like, all of that stuff needs to come with us no matter what, because our body is keeping score. So, yeah.
And we want to continue to have moments like that. So we can't just go trashing ourselves every time we get together. Exactly. I mean, there could be a moment or two. I'm just going to say that, but.
And our body is, because of how we're eating, we're not snacking on like fast food and stuff like that. Like, if we have a cocktail, it's because also we've had like, what did we have? All this fresh veggies and just all like such good stuff, just good clean eating.
Chicken and and pretty amazing. So
anyway,
that's a good stopping point. I think that's a good wrap up from there. So really start paying attention, asking yourself the questions, and really just continuing to ask the why to get you as far upstream as possible. You're not deficient in Tylenol or Advil. That's not the reason. You didn't have a tragic sleeping accident. And, just because you've always been like that doesn't make it normal. Mm-hmm. So those are some really common things that people say to themselves because they've never heard that this isn't normal. And so we're here to tell you that it's not. Yeah. So please share this episode with somebody who maybe you hear who they are and what we're talking about, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And then we will be back with you next Thursday. So have an amazing week, you guys. And I'll see you Sunday for Sunday Night Live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So enjoy the rest of the week. We'll talk to you guys soon.